Alrighty, how's it going, everybody? As promised, this is going to be my Floowandereeze test hand video. What I plan on doing in this video is kind of just going over, not really like the simpler combos, but just kind of what goes through my head in my opening 5-card hand. This video is going to be posted after YCS Vegas, which just finished up yesterday. Shout out to Henko. He actually took Floowandereeze and took it all the way to top 4, where unfortunately he lost. I didn't even know there was a Flunder player until the very end. I was watching Pack hoping he'd win with DDDs, to be honest, but once I saw that someone was actually piloting this deck and it was a pretty well-known player, I was like, okay, I have to root for the boy. So yeah, shout out to him for that. For my first kind of test hand, I'll show the shuffling. If it does kind of get drawn out, I'll probably edit this out. But really what I want to do is just kind of show my way of thinking with this deck, because there really is a lot of ways to play this deck, and a lot of ways to play around hand traps. But it all depends on your opening 5 and kind of going off different assumptions. So for this one, we can just say, hey, we're at a regional, we win die roll, and we decide, hey, we're going first. We have no idea what our opponent's playing, and kind of go from there. So let's see what we get. So let's see. And our 5th card is Dreaming Talent. So this hand's actually pretty nice. We can do a lot here. So for this one, we won't play around it. Let's not worry about the hand traps for this one, just for our first one, and then we'll talk about hand traps and other test hands. So right off the bat, if we're not worried about hand traps, I say we go activate, banish. Might as well get, and remember, this is, if we're worried about hand traps, I might sequence this in a way where I get Eaglin first, but let's just do kind of like a simple test hand. So I decided to grab Robina first because what I'm going to do is I'll just Gold Sark out what I want to chain block it. You could just do this the other way around if you want. It's no big deal for this one, but let's just do it this way. So right now we have full combo. So if you go to other like the simpler combo tutorials that teach you like the bread and butter basics, we already have combo right here. But now what I'm thinking is, if we're going in blind, I'm okay with setting up Empen with Barrier Statue turn 1, and because we already have Trap, we can actually get Continuous Spell if we want. So let's do this. So we'll go 1, 2, add Eaglin to hand, search off Robina. And what's actually is really cool too, if we don't want Barrier Statue here, we could grab Toucan if we want to do this. And what that would let us do is we add this Empen back, grab another off Eaglin, and so we already have the second Empen set up in our hand, and we can summon Barrier Statue on our opponent's turn. So let's go that route just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. So off Robina, let's add Toucan. Let's next summon out, the Toucan next. Toucan, grab, normal, and then we'll grab the second one. And then here, let's see, we'll tribute off, let's go with these. Summon our first Empen, we'll go 1, 2. And if we're going in blind and I already have Trap, honestly right here, I think I'm just gonna grab the Unexplore right here. Just if we're going in blind right now. So the cool thing is right now, we're actually able to do a lot on our opponent's turn. Our opponent's turn is essentially our turn with the way this hand is. So we have this activated, and we have 2 sets that are these. So depending on what our opponent does, like if it turned out they were playing like Brave, Phantom Knight, or something like that, honestly, we could do a lot. Even if they open Broken and start with Right or something, we're gonna be able to play through anything. Even if they have a Droplet or Dark Ruler or something like that, they would have to have honestly, maybe Dark Ruler, Lightning Storm, but no one's really maining that. because we're able to book their entire board with this. We could honestly, if they didn't even open right or anything like that, we could just even book the normal and just say, hey, I hope you have 2 other, you know, level 3 extenders. But if, you know, we wanted to, we're able to, you know, combo off, add normal, and this is what I mean of grabbing the barrier statue, then tribute 2 away, normal, chainlink 1, chainlink 2, and doing that. So I would go that route only if they found a way to negate this one and barrier statue would actually do something. But this test hand was actually kind of crazy going in to a game 1. So let's show off another one real quick. Alrighty guys, this is going to be test hand number 2. And what we're going to do for these test hands going forward is now we're going to start playing around some hand traps. So we did one little simple one where we weren't really worried about anything, but let's actually start playing through some hand traps now. So it can be the same scenario, you know, round 1 regional, we went Dyro. We just had to go first. So let's see what we can do here. So, okay, we draw the broken one of, but let's see if the rest of our hand will get us there. Okay, so this is nice. So right off the bat, we're activating Prosperity. Banish 6, and we'll see what we get. All right, what do we want here? You know what's, so this is actually crazy. If we really wanted to do this, what we could do is we could add Shifter, summon, banish our own Prosperity, then summon out, and then continue to play and then activate the Shifter because we no longer have a card in our grave. But let's not do that. Let's try and play a little safer. So let's just grab map here. But it is important to know, you know, there are, you know, interesting scenarios where that does come up, like right here, you know what I mean? So we could have done that if we had wanted to. So if you felt like that was the right situation in the moment, especially because we do have the called, you could do that. But I'm going to try to play a little safer for this game. So what we can do here is activate map. Right here, activate map effect. What we'll do is reveal Eaglin. So if they have an Ogre, we're definitely using call by on that. But let's say they just have like an Ashra Veiler. So we go standard line here, 1, 2. If they have a Veiler or an Imperm, or if they have Veiler, if they have Imperm, that's actually nice for them because we're not playing around that right now. But if they have a Veiler, we could call by that right away. Add this to our hand and search Empan. Let's say here we go normal. We could even say honestly that if they had an Ash, they could Ash this if they want because they know that they're not gonna do anything else. So let's just say they Ash Robina. We use our actual normal summon for this. Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. What we're grabbing here is trap. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, we actually use Robina's effect, so we're adding Eagle in hand. And then yeah, that's what we're doing. So in this particular instance, we were able to play around an Ash and a Veiler. And what we have for our opponent is a trap and a set cosmic. So what this does for us is we're kind of chilling actually no matter what our opponent's playing, even if they're on a back row deck, because we have cosmic. And then if we feel like it's necessary to Dreaming Town, like if they set 5 pass, we have a line for Apex or even another Empen if we just want to get the continuous spell up. And even if they did do like a Lord play for some reason to get it in grave or something, we could just always street that out of the way. If we were playing against something like Brave, PK, we're actually doing really well here too because we're able to cosmic, I forgot what it's called, the continuous spell if we want to prevent them from getting Griffin or the spell or the equip spell. And then if we want to let them extend a tiny bit, then we can activate Dreaming Town, do our thing. We can summon, we'd probably go another Empen to be honest, or an Apex. And then we'd also be able to banish this from our grave as soon as we summon one to book their field. So this was actually a pretty good hand too. A weird misconception with this deck that this deck loses to like a single hand trap. which is totally false. If this deck were to lose to one single hand trap, game 1 at least, it'd be like a main deck Lancia and Droll, and it would actually just depend on the hand itself. The notion that this deck loses to an Asher Veiler is kind of weird, but hopefully I can get a hand here where I can show you what I mean. So let's say we're going first with this hand. So we have a lot of options of what we can do here, and we can technically bait multiple cards. So what I'm thinking here first is activating the duality. If our opponent wanted to ash this, they could, but let's say they don't, because most people don't ash duality. So let's just activate it and see what we get here. So what we can do here is we could grab, let's see. I think the move here is actually, instead of grabbing the prosperity, if we're trying to bait an ash, there's no better way with this hand than to use wins here. So let's say we're trying to play through an ash and a Veiler or something. Let's go activate this. We'll do for 2. This is definitely some hard ash bait right here. So let's say they ash that, which is fine. What we do next is this. We activate Adventure. For what we decide to banish here is kind of important, because we can technically play through an imperm here, and I'm not talking about like normally in this first and then chaining this. That's not what I mean, because we want to get map here. But what we can do is, if we value the Rise of game 1 because we don't know what we're playing against, that's fine, because we could just banish the impen and then grab map, activate map effect, reveal the Eaglin, and we would banish the, let's see, banish the Robina here. Normal Eaglin 1, Robina 2. They Veiler the Eaglin, which is fine, because we're still going to get this. We're going to use our actual normal summon for the turn, effect of the Robina. And what we're going to grab here is this. Grab Toucan effect, grab Impen. We're going to tribute over these 2 to summon the Impen 1, Eaglin 2. We're 100% grabbing Trap here. And so this is the situation. So we kind of put our opponent in this another tough spot where if they know the deck, they know we're getting to Impen no matter what in this situation. And so we managed to bait out an ash with this, and it wasn't even a bad situation, because at the end of the day we're still putting 2 at the bottom and drawing 2. So even if they didn't, we're still sitting nice with that, even if that resolved, and we're still finding a way to play through both hand traps. So this is another situation where we played through 2 hand traps and we have this. And so next turn we have literally the world and more with this. We can, no matter what the deck is, which is also playing 4 cards, there's like a 90% chance we're winning this game, just because of the way we played this and decided to sequence our cards. So let's go and try another one. All right, so let's do another test hand where we try and play through multiple hand traps and see what we get. So let's go. Let's see what we get this time. Alrighty. So we have an Eaglin, Robina, Dreaming Town, Call By, and Map. So yeah, okay, so this hand's really, really good. So let's see what we can do here. So we don't want to get too happy just because we opened these 2 cards with a body. We still want to play smart. So immediately I'm thinking we go Map, reveal Eaglin for the most optimal play. So that way if they want to stop the Eaglin, they're forced to Veiler or Imperm and they can't ash it. What we could do, so let's do something interesting here. So let's go like this. Here's something cool I just thought of. So let's activate Map here. Map effect, reveal Eaglin, okay? We're gonna banish a, this is like, this, I'm just showing like a cute little thing where, like, let's just say your opponent had Imperm, because we can't call by an Imperm. So let's just say we do this. We banish the Impen. Normal Eaglin, okay? Let's go Eaglin effect. Let's say they Veiler this. Or no, let's say they imperm this. They're like, okay, cool, whatever, you know. Can't do anything about that. Which is the smart move, because even if they have an Ash and an imperm, you still want to imperm this in this situation, 100%. So let's go normal, Robina effect, chain Ash. We can call by this and then do this. Grab Toucan, summon, effect, grab Empen, tribute over these. 1, 2. Next, we grab, and this dependent, since we have the trap, we're sitting nice. But we can do is if we feel like we need this, we can grab that. So let's just grab that for the sake of this. And that's how you can play through that interaction. And so here's a cool thing too. Let's just say, you know, when I normal summon Eaglin, my opponent actually did decide to Ash there. And maybe they would. So that you would still chain the call by on the Ash, and then they chain their imperm from hand. So they still negate the Eaglin, but in this case, I would just normal summon the Robina as my actual normal, and we're still fine. So no matter how, like, even if someone wants to argue, oh, they'd want to Ash that and then chain the imperm, that's fine. This sequence still works the exact same way. And then we have a Dreaming Town. So the cool thing is we're able to play through hand traps and still set up a board just because of the way we decide to sequence this. And it's only because I decided to go this route and banish the M-Pen off that. So let's try another one. All right, so this is going to be the last test hand where I'm going first trying to play through multiple hand traps, because I really want to get to the part where we try and break boards with this deck going second. So let's just do one more. Cut this. All right, we'll cut in half. All right, let's see what we get here. So we see Toucan, we see Shifter, which I'll put at the bottom. I'll put the Shifters at the bottom because we don't want to play with Shifters, because we just care about Engine right now. All right, so here we go. So face value, it's looking like we're sitting pretty good, like we can play through multiple hand traps again. So what we want to do this time is, let's see, we have, okay, so when I see book and I see this, I automatically think, okay, we have ways to play around imperm, Veiler, and we have map to play around an Ash on whatever the most important card is that we want to have resolve. So let's activate map. Let's play around imperm Ash again. Let's go effective map reveal. So this is where we can make a decision to. This will let us get to whatever name we want. If we want to make the Toucan like really crazy right now, we could banish an M-Pen again. But we want to chain block the Eaglin. We want to make people think like we really need this to resolve. So let's go banish Robina, normal Eaglin, Eaglin 1, Robina 2. If they have an imperm or a Veiler, they need to do it now. Let's say they have imperm. We chain, book this, add Robina to hand, grab an M-Pen. We go normal Robina effect. If they have an Ash for this, that's actually fine. What we can do is, if we want to get rid of that with Adventure, we're chilling. What we could do is we could chain to get rid of it just to get another body. Let's go effect chain Adventure. Let's banish the chain Ash. Yeah, we'll banish this to grab the. We have set Eaglin, so we're not going to have that in rotation. We'll actually grab another Eaglin here. So that's fine. We're going to get negated. What we do here, though, is since we actually have our actual normal summon, we can normal Toucan again, add. And then what we can do is tribute off for M-Pen 1, Toucan 2, and we can grab Trap. So in all actuality, this hand was actually able to play through one more Imprimer Veiler, which was actually pretty cool. So, and it's actually cool that I actually got to use Toucan a little more than I expected here in these test hands, because this card's actually nuts, and it lets you play around a lot more too, because it gets you M-Pen access by playing around an Ash, because you can't Ash Toucan, it's not doing anything, you can just Veiler or Imperm. So, and then, you know, we have a Dreaming Town. So we just wait and see what our opponent does. We can activate Map, you know, if they normal summon something. Let's say they were to, I don't know, Dark Hole our board. This is going to Grave. This is going to Grave. And then we still have a Dreaming Town to play. We have a way to chain block the Eaglin, so we can search another M-Pen if we want. Grab a Robina. And this is kind of cute. I'll show this real quick. If we did this route on our opponent's turn, you know, they're playing something, we let them, you know, they're playing like another PK deck or something. We just kind of let them pop off a tiny bit. And then once we've decided we've let them, you know, do enough, we activate that, summon out this. We can grab Statue here, Tribute, summon Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, and then we summon the Barrier Statue after. Or if we wanted to, we could have also done this. Instead of grabbing the Stormwinds, let's do this. Here's another cool scenario. You could have actually grabbed Stree here. So then you would have gone 1 M-Pen, 2 Eaglin. M-Pen will grab you. In this situation, I probably want I could get like a backup Map just in case. And then what I do is I normal Stree effect, banish the other M-Pen, normal summon Toucan effect, get M-Pen, tribute over these two, this M-Pen effect, and then chain block it as well. We'll just grab this to hand. And then if I want, I can grab this, which is really crazy. So yeah, so that it's a cool little thing to kind of, you know, keep in mind of why these cards, especially these two cards, are so crucial. Is because you're able to do things like that. Because M-Pen doesn't have that the nice effect that the little birds have, where it goes to where it's banished and it does go to grave. This is how you're able to constantly recycle, and that's why I used to play only 1 M-Pen, is because of this scenario where I can just keep recycling it. But yeah, so even when you play 2, you can do stuff like this. That's just a cute little thing that I saw come up that's worth noting in case it ever comes up for you. So let's go into the next one. Alrighty guys, so for this test hand, what we're going to do is we're going to play through a standard Dragon Link board. What we're going to do is we're going to try and play through a board of Savage, Hot Red, and Seals. So for those of you who don't know what those cards are, Savage and Hot Red are both Omni Negates, and then Seals is a bounce. So Omni Negates are a little better against this deck than just other Negates and other disruptions. So let's see what our hand can do against that. Alrighty, so let's see what we have. So we have Eaglin, Advent, M-Pen, another Eaglin, and Prosperity, which is fine. And our 6th card is another Advent. Okay. Alrighty, so let's see how we want to play this. You know, this is what we could do. So we can indirectly play through Droll this way in our draw phase by activating this and then banishing this as cost. So here's the thing. Depending on how our opponent wants to interact. So if our opponent doesn't really know what our deck does, but they see this, so what's the effect? Oh, you know, I banish 1 into Rhoda, they'll probably negate this. So let's just say they Savage negate this. So they Savage negate this. We're like, fine. Let's go to main. So right here, what we're gonna do is, we could do this. We could activate another one and pay cost again. And then what they do here is they'll probably read the card, see if I can do that. Savage negates activations, so they have to think. Let's say they Hot Red negate that, and we're like, sure, let's Prosperity. So now what we're going up against is a bounce. So let's go Robina here. Let's go normal Robina, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Eaglin. They might wait. I think either way they lose this though. So let's just say they bounce Robina right away. This actually gets banished. So you add Eaglin to hand. Robina resolves. Let's grab... I'm almost tempted to grab Toucan. Let's see. Do we want to go this route? We could actually grab Stree here. If we want to banish something from their grave, it just depends if we prioritize that or not. Grab Stree. Normal. Effect. They're going to have another body off seals, by the way, but it won't really be too much of an issue for our deck. So right here, what we'll do is we will grab... we'll save the Rubina there to chain block. Actually, no, we can grab this right off the bat. And then what we'll grab here is... Let's actually grab another M-Pen. Normal effect, banish something from their grave. Then let's go tribute, summon, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Here we have to decide what we prioritize the most. So right now what we're looking at is both, let's assume that Savage and Hot Red were both in attack mode. Actually, you know what? We can even make this harder. Let's make it harder for us. Let's assume they were both in defense. Yeah, so we're actually kind of forced to deal with them in some way or another. So let's go. Let us go. We'll add this. Okay, so now, since we're making this a little harder on ourselves by assuming they summoned it in defense, what we need to do is we need to get over the Hot Red, because that's what we care about the most. So off the top of my head, I don't remember the defense, but let's just assume that it was something, I don't know, something with a high defense where we had to banish, because we might not have to. I'm just blanking on the defense. So we do that, we set this. So what we're looking at on their turn, since Savage is in defense, they still have an Omni Negate. But what we have is a Dreaming Town set. So it's going to come down to, can our opponent out the M-Pen so that way Savage can go to attack mode and, you know, they can try and go for a game and stuff like that. So really what it comes down to is, can they access code? Actually, off the top of my head, they might not have an out to this M-Pen. I played Dragon Link as well, and it's actually not even Barrier Statue that it has the most problems with. It's just going to depend on, can you out the M-Pen? Because if they can't, they're kind of stuck. So it would really depend on if they had an out. So we honestly might be able to have them at a standstill just because of that. And if that's the case, we just win the game because our opponent can try and stall for something else. Like if they had an out, like they might just actually pass. They might put a couple other bodies on board and then literally just pass. So what we would do is we would keep the Dreaming Town set. We don't need to, it's just going to be activated to be negated at this point. So then we would draw for our next turn. What we would do here is we could just go, we could either book the Savage or banish it with the effect. Yeah, so I think the move here would just be, we'll banish the Savage in battle phase with M-Pen. Banishing that because we can keep a disruption. Then what the move would be is activate this. Even if they had a hand trap, let's just say they you know, drew a hand trap, you know, doesn't really matter because this is going to be Chainlink 1. This is going to be Chainlink 2. We activate this. We normal. We go effect. We search. And what we're able to do here is now really start popping off. It kind of sucks that our other M-Pen's there and we didn't get to get Toucan here, but that's fine. We can just grab either a Ryza or Apex here and then just keep comboing. But against the Dragon Link matchup, as long as you're able to break the initial board and play the game, unless they're prepared for it or they have the hand traps, literally M-Pen is that deck's worst nightmare. And this is coming from someone who plays Dragon Link, so yeah, that match will be a little back and forth, but as long as you put the M-Pen on board, you should be sitting. All right, so for this test hand, what we're gonna do is we're gonna play through a PK board. So let's say our opponent kind of knew what we were playing, so instead of doing like the whole artifact scythe route, what they decide to do is end on DPE. We'll put DPE in defense mode. 2 Fog Blades set, and let's say they also had a Break Sword in their grave, for like a rough example. So if a let's say Fog Blade hit grave, they can revive the Break Sword, summon it to Rusty Zone, and pop a card. So 3 guaranteed disruptions and 4 possible disruptions with the Fog Blade. So let's see what we grab here. Alrighty, so this hand's really nice. So let's see, we should be able to break the entire board with this and then establish our own. So let's see what we can do here. So let's start with Prosperity. Nice. Okay, so in this situation, let's grab Map. Alright. So we need Map to resolve here, so let's book the DPE right away. So now we need to worry about the 2 fogs, and we have a Cosmic for 1. So let's activate the Map. Let's go. Let's see, how do we want to sequence this? Let's go Map Effect, then reveal Eglin. Let's banish a Robina here. Normal summon the Eglin, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2 Robina, chain Fogblade on Eglin because they want to prevent us from grabbing the M-Pen. Let's chain Cosmic on that, which forces them to chain the second one because they've already committed and they don't want this to resolve. So they chain the second one, one of the Fogblades gets banished, and so what we do, this resolves and we get a Robina in hand. So now, we haven't used our actual normal summon yet, luckily, and we've managed to book the DPE, and then have our opponent activate both Fog Blades. So now what we can do is use our actual normal summon, go Effect, and what we can do here is, because one of the, oh no, actually the Fog Blade isn't in grave. Yeah, we're chilling right now, we're chilling. So there's several things we can do here. We could grab Statue here, in a way, it's like a pseudo way to play around the Break Sword. So we actually could have played through even another hand trap, to be honest. Our opponent actually could have had a Veiler or an Ash, and we could have played around that as well, just because we hard open called. But let's grab a Stree here, because we can always summon the Barrier Statue on our opponent's turn. So next we'll Tribute. So 1 Fogblade does hit grave here, which is important to note. Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Let's grab into hand, and then we'll grab Trap here. Yeah, we'll go Trap here. And if we want to summon, so here's the thing, we could summon Stree to target either the Break Sword or the Fogblade Engrave to banish it, but then they'll just chain it. So either way, we lose out to that interaction. But we have the call, so if we care about that interaction, we can just call their target. But right now we're chilling. So here's the situation we're in. Let's say it doesn't even matter if they were to Fogblade to summon back out the Break Sword, because Rusty wouldn't trigger because M-Pen's on board. So right now what we care about is we can get rid of the DPE right away, or we can wait because I don't know if I mentioned it in the other test hand, but because it's in defense, you know, it has to be flipped up to face up attack. So for this example, we could just say, you know what, screw it, let's just get it out of the way. So we could just banish this right off the bat. So let's just do that. If we want to banish, I don't remember DPE's stats, but we could just like straight up just attack over it. If it activates its effect, we could call by that. But to avoid that, let's just go this route. We banish it with the effect in battle phase. And so what we're sitting on now is a set call by and a set Dreaming Town. So when we pass to our opponent, what we're looking at here is we can actually pop off, and it doesn't really matter what they do here because we have this setup. So they're going to have to normal summon at some point if they want to out this board. Let's say they had access to a droplet, and let's say, you know, start a main, they activate droplet, target, you know, discard something, target end pin. What we're able to do here is if we want to right away, we can activate the Dreaming Town. So this is negated. Activate Dreaming Town. We normal chain link 1, chain link 2. Resolves. Grab another one. What we can do here is just summon this right away, chain block that. We can add a statue here. Then we can tribute off both of these. Summon, add. And then we can grab, in this case, I probably want to grab the continuous spell. But we could, yeah, I'm kind of down with grabbing the continuous spell here. And then we're able to summon, and so we summon statue. So even though they negated one end pin, we're on their turn, because of the trap, we're able to summon another one with a Stormwinds. And even if they had a body on board that was able to be set face down, we could have banished this as well when we summon the second end pin. But that just depends on their board. But so that's what we had, and then obviously we have a call by. But it didn't really matter because we were able to chain block every single Astrable bird because we already had banished birds. So yeah, so that ended up working well. So that hand was a success. So let's try another. So this next test hand we're gonna go up against another Phantom Knight board, but this time what they're gonna have is a little bit of a better setup. So they're gonna have DPE in defense mode. They're going to have 2 Fog Blades set, and this time their 4th disruption is going to be an Omni Negate in Griffin. So they would have resolved all their adventure cards, and they would have ended on Griffin on their 5th summon, which is an Omni Negate. So we'll have to play through 4 guaranteed disruptions instead of 3 with a possible 4th like the other example. So let's see if we can play through that. Alrighty, so we need to see a name, and we do. Okay. Alright, so this actually should work. But we need to sequence everything right. So right off the bat, this is what I'm thinking. My first instinct is we Book of Moon the DPE, and then the cool thing is let's say our next move were to be, you know, activate map or something. If they decided to negate that, we're actually able to chain the second Book of Moon and book the Griffin there. And because it can't return itself to deck, it doesn't negate the activation of the card. So we can actually use that to our advantage. So let's actually Book of Moon the DPE right away. We'll do that right away. Here's another cool thing too, because we hard open this. So let's activate this. And so now this puts our opponent on a situation where they have to decide, do I want this on board still? So let's just say they call our bluff and they're like, you know what? I'm not going to negate that. I don't think you have it. Like which is actually making it even harder for us. So, but let's just play it out like that. So we're like, okay, fine, let's do that. So we duality. Now our opponent has to think, okay, well, we have 3 unknowns in our hand. Do we negate that? And in this situation, let's say they don't. Let's just say they don't. Let's make it hard. All right, we reveal 3. Let's grab a... Ooh, we could do spicy stuff here. Okay, let's go... Let's see, how can we do this? There's a couple ways. We could do some interesting things here. Let's grab this. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so let's go... Activate effect. activate map. Let's say they try to chain to negate. We chain book. We book that. So map stays on board. Let's go. Let's see. If we go this route. Let's see. I know there's a way we can do this. If we go map effect, let's actually, we can reveal toucan here. And what we can banish is this. Let's banish. Let's go Advent, and then what we'll do is normal toucan effect. If I'm the opponent, I don't think you fog blade this. I think you let your opponent get that, because all you're scared of at this point is a big body, and that's, in this situation, I don't think you make that read. The hand is that strong. And because what we want to do here is, if we grab this, we're able to grab the adventure, and then when we normal the Rubina, we can play, because our opponent doesn't know we have this. We're able to normal Rubina, and if they chain fog, we can chain this to grab an M pin. So that's kind of the plan right now. So our opponent could negate this, but I don't think that's the move. If all they're seeing is this, I don't think that's the move. So we add this to our hand. We normal, they see we have that name. So they know we have this card in hand, but they know that we don't have an, technically we don't have an England in rotation. So they need to decide if they want to fog blade this. So they know that we'll just chain. So I think the move is this. Let's say they decide, you know what, I'm going to hold. And we're like, okay, that's fine. We're still going to go effect. Here we're going to banish. We're going to banish toucan. And what we're going to do is this. We're going to grab the M pin. And then off the Rubina, we're going to grab the, let's see. Let's grab, how do we want to resolve this? Let's grab Eglin. Yeah, we'll do that. So this is engraved. Then we're gonna go summon the M pin by using one of their fog blades that's set and the Robina. Now we go chainlink 1 M pin, chainlink 2 toucan. They chain their last disruption in fog blade on the M pin, which is fine. So we grab this. Next we go, let's see. Let's use our actual normal summon for the turn. Eglin effect. We're going to grab another M pin here. And now we're going to summon it using the Eglin we control and then the fog blade that's attached to this M pin. And we're going to go chainlink 1, chainlink 2. I don't believe we used Eglin yet. If we did, my apologies. Just don't add this to your hand. And now, the point is, though, is we're going to grab the trap. And in reality, it doesn't even matter if we get this or not, because we already have a little name in our hand, which is all that matters. So, and the cool thing is, too, just so you guys know that I'm not misplaying or something, is the once per turn on Unexplored Winds is for the draw effect. As long as you can keep, summoning monsters that can be tributed, you can keep tributing one of your opponent's cards. So that's why this is able to work. So right now, this is a situation we're in. So we played through both fog blades. They're omni. and their DPE is set. So right now, we can, I don't remember, I think the Griffin's 27, no, 2800 defense, and the DPE is, I believe, I don't remember the stats, but if we can beat over it, you'd beat over that right there, and we don't really care about beating over the Griffin yet. But what we can do is we can set this, and as soon as it's their main phase, they have priority, obviously, as turn player. If we deem it necessary on their first action, then we can activate this and start doing stuff. So they might be tempted to flip the Griffin, maybe. It won't do anything because it's still considered a special summon monster and it's in attack position. But let's say they normaled something, or specialed another one of the adventure cards. If we deem it necessary, if they normal, we can activate map right away. If not, we can activate Dreaming Town, depending on what we want to do. And then this is kind of just where we pop off, because we're able to do this. We can make Eagle Channeling 2. We can summon out. Actually, we probably want to go Robina first, just in case we want the statue. We grab that first. Then you summon out this effects, and then you grab what you think you're going to need here. If you're scared of, like, I don't know. I don't even know what you're afraid of in this situation, because you have ways to play around the adventure cards. So you could, in theory, just go Apex here, honestly. It doesn't really, I think that's honestly the move here, because you're going to be able to tribute away one of their cards if you want. So if you're scared of, if you're scared of, like, those cards doing anything, you can just tribute this in one of theirs, and go like this. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that was a fun little test hand. Alrighty, guys, that's actually going to be it for today's video. I wanted to do a quick little outro and mention a couple things that I noticed while I was actually looking over some of the clips I recorded. A couple things I noticed while I was going over is, one, it's actually really hard to do test hand videos where you actually talk things out loud. Usually in the moment, I look at test hands and in my head I'm like, okay, here's the optimal route, but it's definitely a lot harder. I learned to do it and actually say it out loud, what my plays are, before I actually make them. So I thought that was really cool about this video. It's kind of like learning how to balance that, and hopefully I'll be better at it in the future. Second is my hands. A lot of the hands I did for this profile were actually really, really good hands, and there were about three or so test hands I cut out, mainly for two reasons. One, as you saw in one of my test hands, if I drew Shifter, I put it at the bottom of my deck because I wanted to show what this deck could do without Shifter in its opening hand. And so I cut out some of my test hands where I drew Shifter, where it wasn't even worth, putting in the back and drawing a new card, because I didn't have that idea until like halfway through recording this. Otherwise, I would have done that from the start. And second, it really just does come down to me wanting to show off what this deck can do with just pure engine, and the tech cards you play to kind of complement the Flunder cards. So, obviously, you don't always draw a hand that can play through, a 4 disruption board, and then still like make a board on top of that. So, I don't want people to get the wrong impression that you're gonna draw crazy like that every single time, and that this is the best board breaking deck to ever exist. No, like, of course, I could draw a hand, 3 Shifter, Robina, and like, a Book of Moon. And then of course, the one time I do this, my opponent's one hand trap is Ash Blossom, and so they Ash Robina and I lose, you know what I mean? So I just want to make that, crystal clear for everybody. I do think this deck plays really well, and as hopefully I've shown, if you learn combos, and if you learn how to sequence cards, you can play through game states and boards that might seem, insurmountable. So that's basically what I wanted to mention here at the end of this video. I hope you all liked it. I'm going to be posting some other deck profiles other than Flunder for the next probably couple weeks, unless I top a big event with Flunder, like if our locals has another case tournament or something, then I'll post another Flunder profile. But I am about to get the last of my PK cards. I was just missing 2 Torn Scales and I have a Dragon Link list that's actually 100% ready to go that I really want to take to a locals and try and do well with. So be on the lookout for that. If you have any constructive criticism or any suggestions or anything, please feel free to comment down below. I read pretty much every comment, and you guys have actually left some comments with some really spicy tech to try out in some of my decks. So I really appreciate that. And if I do decide to incorporate any of that, I will be sure to shout you out. So hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for the next one. Later.